This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm sore.
Were you sore? Are you like a 1940s guy who's mad? Oh, I'm sore.
I'm sore at you.
Oh, and I'm fixing for a fight.
And I'm Irish.
Yeah. Well, you are fixing for a fight.
I am always fixing for a fight.
Yeah.
I always got my hands up and my elbows bent.
Yeah, Jack Dempsey style.
Wait, what is that?
Jack Dempsey.
Oh.
He's an old boxer. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't the only one that did that, but he's
and like the Notre Dame leprechaun.
Yeah,
right?
he does it, yeah.
But it always looks like you're posting up to punch yourself in the face.
If you do things wrong, you just might.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a fighter.
So that's one of the reasons why it makes it one of the most dangerous ways to fight. Due to
With your fist pointed at you.
yeah, you know, things go wrong. You get hit in the head, which, let's be honest, happens when you're boxing.
Yeah.
You get confused, you punch yourself in the face. Yeah, I'll just start punching before I see which way my fists are facing. Anyway, Tim, why are you sore?
Tom, I've been like a little bored.
Okay.
So I was like,
no.
Why don't I start doing some push-ups, start swinging this kettlebell around?
I thought this was going to be a gooning story.
No, we don't.
And that's why
Tom,
you were sore.
Leave that to your
Well, I don't know. You said you're like, oh, I was bored.
Yeah, no. The way that when I get bored, I'm like, okay, I need to better myself.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of push-ups.
Uh-huh.
Been doing a lot of kettlebell stuff.
Yeah.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
I think I'm doing it wrong.
Could be.
It hurts while I'm doing it. It hurts after I'm doing it.
Yeah, if it hurts both times, I think that's probably not good. It depends on the kind of hurt, you know?
Yeah. No. It's all a good hurt, and by next week I'll be able to kick your ass.
It's a good hurt, like, you know, when you're stretching and you bounce to make yourself stretch further.
Is that not what you're supposed to do?
No, it's not what you're supposed to do.
But that's what they taught us in grade school.
Yeah, that's what some gym coach who was smoking a cigarette at the time told us we should do.
Yeah.
They just wanted to win the president's physical fitness challenge, Tim.
Right.
And they didn't care if it would give all of us kids lifelong health issues. They just wanted to win at all costs. And the V-sit and reach was one of the most competitive elements of the entire challenge.
So you sat with your legs straight out.
Yeah.
And then they shoved a ruler into your crotch, right? A really long ruler.
And
then you had to bend over and see how far you could get on the ruler?
Yeah, but the ruler had another stick going perpendicular so that it would start at your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you had to see how it was either minus a number or plus a number, depending on where you ended up.
I never did well on any of it.
Also, I remember, like, we would have to bounce, and then on, like, the third bounce, the coach would, like, press our backs down to,
do you know about these professional stretchers?
No, of course I don't, Tim.
What do you mean?
I only care about amateur stretchers.
This is a thing. Like, you can go to, like, they have, like, they're businesses. Like, they're in, like, strip malls now. Like, you roll up.
So it's not like, you can buy tickets for it.
Oh, no. It's not like a stretching competition. No, there's a professional who will stretch you.
Oh, I see.
You're the one being stretched.
I'm not the pro.
But, like, stretching is in right now, Tom.
Okay.
I'd like to get limber, too. As soon as I get swole, I'll get limber, too, afterwards. First swole, then limber.
But what if you get so swole, like you can't really move?
That's going to be why I need somebody to professionally come in and stretch me. So you go to these places, I think they bring you into a room.
And then they just do all the stretching for you?
I don't know if they have a contraption that they mastermind, they pull the levers on.
Very expensive machine.
Yeah, or if it's just old school, like, give me your arms, son. Like, the way that the gym teacher would stretch you in the V-sit and reach.
Until you could reach.
I would like to be more flexible, Tom. I can't really move my neck past. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
That's as far as I can go.
So you're not asking to be, when you say I would like to be more flexible, you're not talking about being flexible. You're talking about
like being
just being normal, maybe.
Who's that creep that was on TV with the leotard with all the organs on the Mr. Body? Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he was like a string bean noodly guy.
That's what, but that doesn't mean he's flexible.
I think he was. I think he could like put his leg behind his head.
I don't think
jump around.
I think the whole thing was just that he had his organs on the outside.
I know, but he did other things. He had to entertain us.
Back then, that was all you needed.
Yeah, I hated that guy so much.
He was on the cover of People magazine every other week just because of that.
How are you doing this week, Tom?
I'm good, Tim. I went on a little vacation, a little getaway.
Yeah.
To the Jersey Shore. It was a lot of fun. Fun in the sun. But while I was there, I was reading a news story that have you heard about this, Tim? The Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it's very bad. They made a movie about it. That news story that you're talking about was, Michael Keaton wrote
Tim,
it. I think.
I'm not talking about the Passion of the Christ. That's the movie you were talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. That the Catholic Church has now essentially cleared the way. He's on his way. We're going to have the first gamer saint.
Gamer saint.
Yes.
I don't understand how saints work. You might have to explain a little bit of that. But a video gamer?
He was, sadly, he was a teen when he passed.
Oh, he passed.
Yeah, and but it was like I think a good 20 years ago or so.
Okay.
It still stinks.
Yeah, but time heals all wounds.
Yeah. And 20 years ago, you could still be a gamer.
You couldn't be a gamer teen and then still be good enough to be a saint.
Well, but here's the thing, Tim. He was very pious. He was very,
what games did he play?
I don't know. Tony Hawk probably around that time.
Wolfenstein 3D, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's the Pope now.
You're killing Nazis in Wolfenstein.
Oh, that's true. Well, Doom.
Violence. Doom, you're killing the fucking devil, Tim. That's probably what got him halfway there.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody sent a video of him playing to the Pope, and the Pope
was like, "Is this real?"
The Pope thought it was real and said,
he didn't know.
"We got holy shit!
This guy killed more demons than
he
anyone.
Went to hell and killed all the demons.
Should write another chapter of the Bible about this guy.
yeah. Screw being a saint. Write a new book about this guy who went to hell and killed all the demons with machine guns.
So how often is there a new saint? Somebody sainted?
I don't know. I have to look more into this, Tim, for both of us one day.
This is what you did on your vacation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I was on vacation, Tim, I didn't dive too deep into everything. But because I was hoping you knew more about this than I did. Because
Tom, I think it's I don't know anything.
Because I had my question about it was, so one of the ways because when you become a saint, you're beautified, right? That's what they call it.
Beatified, I think.
Or you're beautified before you become a saint.
I don't think beautified is the right word.
It's beatified?
I think so.
What the hell does that mean?
Some religious thing. No offense, God. But it's just cool to say the devil's at home instead of.
But this kid, he cleared the place out. When you go to hell and you kill devils, where do you send them to? Heaven? Well, that would be a real mistake.
Yeah.
I hope they thought this through.
Beatify. To proclaim
a
deceased person to be one of the blessed and thus worthy of public religious veneration in a particular religion or religious congregation.
Okay, yeah. So that's like
to exalt, glorify.
One of the steps.
Yeah.
But here's what one of the things you have to do to become a saint. I don't know if you need more than one, but you need basically a verified miracle.
Okay.
And which makes sense, like to become a saint, that it's like somebody had to have, like, let's say you were diagnosed with something terminal.
Right.
And then you said, I prayed to the that gamer that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
And now like there's not a medical explanation for how miraculously I've healed.
Right. Or if it's like the gamer, was controlling someone who ate a feather and then turned into a flying raccoon. That doesn't happen.
You're telling me this video is real too?
I guess the Pope knows from the Mario Brothers, though.
Right,
they grew up together.
Hey, wait a minute. I know this guy.
There's a Luigi.
Hey, get out of here. No, so they and then they like send a team, that like verifies the medical records, verifies that it's in their eyes a miracle. But my question is, who are the people and look, maybe it's a great playbook of like, when you go to the church, maybe to tell them like, I just got awful news. Like I've only got 3 months to live. Do they tell you like, look, let me show you the starting lineup of hot rookies we've got.
Yeah, we got this crackerjack gamer.
Yeah. Why don't you try praying to these guys? Hey, look, it doesn't cost anything to pray except time, right? See if that works.
I think my response would be like, well, that's exactly what I'm in short supply of, Father. Hey, we all got...
all right. Then forget these guys. No. Here, all right. I'll take away half of them. Try praying to these guys, and guess what? If it works, we can also, you'll be the guy that, I don't know if they have like I assume they have like a ceremony that's kind of like the Hollywood star, the Walk of Fame when you get your star.
Yeah,
they'll be like you'll get to be one of the people that gets to speak when we make this guy a saint. And that's what's in it. Well, that's why you would instead, because I just think
they always have the weirdest people. They'll be like, Barbara Streisand got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's not that weird.
And then they'd be like,
she's a huge star.
No. They'll always get a weird person to be like, and speeches were given by Gene Simmons and like, Emerald Lagasse.
I think it's just whoever's in town that day.
I guess.
A lot of traffic in LA, Tim. Sometimes people can't make it, and you gotta let Gene Simmons give your little speech. But I think, and maybe it's because I'm not a very religious person, that like if I got awful news like that, I'm going straight to the big man with my claims.
But this is the thing. This is why they have saints. The big man's like, come on,
busy.
Man.
He's busy.
He's got to delegate.
But then even the saints, they're too busy, so you should like try one of the new guys.
Well, the population grows exponentially, right?
I wonder if he could say like
you got to scale this stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm just so curious
about. For that reason, I'm out. I'm not investing in heaven.
Just so curious about the process of like how you find who you should be praying to that might become a saint and then help them become a saint.
Yeah, you could ask any religious person; they'll tell you. Okay. I think they expect. You know how people go to church
they don't
have
to be Catholic, just any religious person.
No, but I mean, like I'm sure it's analogous in other religions, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like you said, it's impossible to know how these things happen and how they're done. Tim, this week we're talking about mascots.
Yeah. I guess a saint is like a mascot for
in a way,
for God.
Yeah, for heaven or well, and a lot of saints, it's like, oh, this person's the saint of blank, so that's kind of like a mascot, This guy's the saint of ships,
right?
This guy's who is Saint Michael's like the saint of lost things or something. You pray to him if you lost something.
Yeah, there's like a saint of dogs too, right?
Yeah. Oh, so is this guy going to be a gamer saint? Like, please, let me win the next round of Fortnite, Saint Gamer. I need it.
Maybe.
Yeah, he's going to have his hands full dealing with all these gamer requests.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to get some mods in there to handle all the.
I think if he's just like first, like he's got to cull what he's gonna like respond to, right?
Gamer only stuff.
And if you take out the ones that include racial slurs, I think that's
then how is
you're decreasing it by like 70%.
How is he the true patron saint of gamers, Tim? if he disagrees with free speech.
We're talking about mascots this week, Tom, and I just want to make a note that I'm doing this episode under protest.
Why? Under protest? Yeah. Oh, I know why. Go ahead.
Because I wanted to do this episode about running on the field during the baseball game. And you were like, no, we should do it about mascots
you even
instead.
Said you were like, I don't know how to do an entire episode.
I said,
I'm
not sure if that's too niche.
Yeah.
But I think we can figure it out.
Okay. Well, let's see how far we can get. And if not, we'll switch over to mascots.
A mascot is any human, animal, or object.
Why did you want to do it based on guys you didn't explain?
What? I just think it's a good phenomenon. I like when people.
But it happened. There was like a big one the other day. A guy did a flip and then got tased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about mascots, so we'll talk
I know, but I just wanted to let people know.
Yeah, there's something in the news.
There's something
not as significant as a sainted gamer, a beatified gamer.
Yeah.
But
hey, it's up there. A guy ran away, did a flip, and then he got tased.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny. Pretty funny, like sequence of events that happen.
You know what though, and we started chatting a little bit about this online on the internet.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to bring it IRL.
Yeah, and look, before you ask, no, it wasn't a flame war.
Oh, no, it was not a flame war.
We were not engaged in any kind of flame war against each other online.
It did end with me swatting you, though. Where was this?
I'm not sure. I want to say San Diego?
No, I think it's maybe Cincinnati. Hold on, let's see.
Yes, it was the Reds.
Okay. What do we call that when someone runs out onto the field? So I've been seeing this.
I mean, there are streakers, but it's not a streaker.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So, like, number one, when someone runs out onto the field during a baseball game, do you like? You're like, you said something sarcastically, like, I love it when people who aren't supposed to be on the field run out onto the field. I do love it. If you're at a game and someone runs out of the field, you're not like, hey, look, check it out. Look at this guy.
Well, mostly, though, because you're expecting, like, something to happen, like them to do something.
Yeah, this kid did a flip.
And he should be allowed to do it again. Like, he did something entertaining. Do you think he should have been tased?
This is the debate that I've seen raging in the Instagram comments. Of the baseball accounts I follow.
I mean, no, because he wasn't a danger to anyone. Right. Because tasing is like, you can kill somebody with a taser.
That's the thing. There was a cop right there.
Yeah.
And like, I think they were saying like, this police officer just got shown up by this guy doing a backflip in front of him. So like, of course he's gonna reach for it. But like, you could have just tackled him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like, you should read these comments on Instagram. It's like, he could have been wearing a suicide vest. And it's like, come on, man. This is a drunk 20-year-old, right?
Yeah,
like,
and if he was like, okay, then he also could have pressed the button right there.
Also, shooting a suicide vest with an electric shock can't be a great way not to detonate it, right?
Wait, what do you mean?
Right, like if you got dynamite strapped to you, and I shoot like electricity at it, that might just blow up the dynamite, right?
And like make an explosion? Are you talking about?
Right? Want to detonate
I thought that's what that guy was saying was a problem.
No, the guy was like, no, the police officer shouldn't have tackled him because then the police officer would have gotten blown up.
But they could have saved a lot of lives in that case, like when you jump on a grenade.
Yeah.
And if he was too close to the blast radius anyway.
But also, if you're wearing a suicide vest,
you're probably not going to do a flip before you blow.
And also, like, running out of the stands where there's thousands of people densely packed onto the wide open space of a baseball
you're
field
also,
isn't
that's not a great plan.
And one would think you wouldn't be able to get that into the stadium to begin with.
No,
I can't get a can of Pepsi into Yankee Stadium.
Exactly. Yeah. They have good security.
Anyway, I don't think it should be allowed. But let's agree that we like it.
Well, I was gonna say that Yeah, that guy did not, like I said, was not a danger to anyone, should not have been tased. But with that said, that's the funniest thing to do in that situation.
Yeah.
And the crowd reacted as such, because it is very funny to see somebody go from like being very cocky and doing a flip and then getting tased. And especially when you're running, what tasing does is just stop all your muscles from working. Right. So you land in in this case, look, it's a those fields are beautiful. He wasn't going to hurt himself falling. It's not like, concrete or whatever.
Yeah. Look, you shouldn't have done it. It's the most I've seen of a Cincinnati Reds game in years.
Not me, Tim. I never miss a game.
Really. And then, this kid's such a piece of shit. He's in court. Did you see this?
Oh, no, I didn't.
And the judge says to him, like, have you seen all the posts online about your, and the kid's like, no, I haven't.
He's probably been in jail doing it.
And the judge says, everybody thinks you landed that backflip. And then there's a long pause, and the kid goes, pretty sure I did.
Yeah, of course he did.
But even, the judge is joking around, like, the backflip is pretty impressive. But, like, this kid, the first comment on this was actually, this is the kid that spent his whole life telling his mom to shut up. It's like, yeah, it is that kid.
I mean, and I think that's what my problem with people running on the field is that it's not that somebody's doing it. It's the type of person that's doing it.
Yeah.
That you just know. Like if you met somebody at a bar and they were bragging about like having run onto the field 20 years ago during something, you'd probably be like, oh, God.
Well, it used to be like, drunk out of shape guy. Like our young bros now are different than like
they can
the
do
beer guzzling.
Backflips.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, yeah. But like also in the comments, people are like, well, that's why you shouldn't streak at a baseball game. It's like, this isn't streaking,
it's not
creeps.
Streaking. Yeah, you gotta take your clothes off the street. You wish it was
streaking.
Yeah. Do you have different feelings about somebody streaking onto the field versus just somebody running onto the field?
No, it's streaking to me though is always just like I don't really see the point. Like I'm not offended by it, but it's just like, ooh, you're making things a lot worse for yourself. Like I guess like in the 60s, 70s
now
when
that's
there was
the way they're going to put you in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in the 60s and 70s, like you'd streak and then you'd get away at the end, and then I guess you just run all the way home naked. Is that
yeah?
Or did you like stash clothes somewhere, or like
you'd have everybody else from your commune would be waiting around outside.
What's communes, Tom? You thought only nudists?
Yeah, free love types, Tim. With their long hair and their peace signs running nude through a Chargers game. It's disgusting.
Anyway, I think they should show it on TV. That's the other thing. You watch a game on TV, and then it's just like you get a shot of like
the announcers or whatever.
Yeah,
they like just cut to
and
something
the announcers
else.
Nowadays are like, oh, look at this asshole, and like
and then they'll say like we're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah, but like, and it's like just show us.
Like we don't.
I know it's going to encourage more people to do it.
I've
but like
games where the announcers are like, of course we're not going to show it to you, but it really is something going on. And then sometimes they'll be like, he got away. It looks like we're gonna. It's like, come on, all right, now cut to it.
Yeah.
If they get away, you should be able to cut back. Is that it? Is that all you want to say about people? Can we talk about mascots now?
Yeah, we can talk about mascots. A mascot is any human, animal, or object thought to bring luck, or anything used to represent a group with a common public identity, such as a school, sports team, society, military unit, or brand name. Mascots are also used as fictional representative spokespeople for consumer products. Man, this is so much more fun than talking about this boy doing a backflip and getting tased and then sassing to the judge.
We had a conflict earlier because I was trying to narrow down, should we just talk about sports mascots or all mascots? And you're like, oh, whatever. My thing is, there's episodes.
I made a case for each, and then I went, who gives a shit?
Because I think the general world of mascots might be too big.
Yeah, and also very astutely lampooned in the recent Pop-Tart story movie. What's it called? Unfrosted.
Unfrosted. A lot of mascots in that.
Yeah.
It is like a funny thing, just like a mascot.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense.
You got a little funny guy to like be like, hey, I'm like it's like you're hiring a spokesperson, but you're not. It's just like a funny little guy.
Well, from what I was reading, at least sports mascots, a lot of them, or it's basically attributed to that a lot of teams had like literal live animal mascots.
Mm-hmm.
And, you hear about like, I guess colleges and high schools maybe even still have this sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, our mascot's, Timmy the goat.
Right.
No offense.
That's all right. Many goats are named Timmy.
And we bring them out.
Most goats are named Billy, actually, now that I think about
that's true. But then it's like, oh no, our rival stole Timmy the goat.
Right.
We have to steal him back. Like that, that's the plot.
Just like movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's the plot of like Saved by the Bell and things like that. But it sounds like, from my research, I mean, it sounds kind of like the idea of mascots just kind of came about because it's like, it just makes sense. Like, you need something to represent something.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have like a fun little character or whatever?
Right.
Although in this definition, sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, human, animal, or object. An object? I think it's got to be more human or animal. Okay. But I guess there are mascots that are objects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of one. I was like, yeah, obviously.
Like the New Jersey Nets. Nets are...
Well, there's different, there's a difference between the team name and, like, the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah.
It's not, it's the Brooklyn Nets. It's been the Brooklyn Nets for over a decade. What are we doing? But, like, they have a mascot.
Play down the road from here.
Yeah, I can see their arena from here. Brooklyn Nets mascot, like, that's not the mascot. Is Duncan the Dragon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's confusing. It should be Nettie the Net.
Yeah. And, like, the Mets, the New York Mets.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
they have Mr. Met and Mrs. Met.
Right. Who aren't baseballs, though.
Yeah, their heads are baseballs.
Their heads are baseballs, but they are not baseballs.
But a Met is not a baseball.
Neither are they. Tim? Right.
Yeah, they're just fun people. I met them
they're
recently.
They're more than that. You didn't meet them.
I fucking met Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Yeah, right. Where,
at Citi Field.
Cocktail party or something? I went to a dinner party. I was seated next to Mr. and Mrs. Met.
No, my son got a picture with them.
Yeah, right. He's gonna have to prove that to me.
No, it's fucked up. Actually, it's like they cut off the line to get a picture with Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Were you at a game?
Yeah, we were at a game, a baseball game.
I don't know, Tim. I was real worried that you're gonna be like, here, look, and you're gonna show me a picture of like your son alone, just looking scared, and you being like, look, and there's Mr. Met, and there's Mrs. Met.
My son wanted to meet Mrs. Met so badly.
Oh no,
he's 2.5 for anybody listening. That they cut off the line because it was before the game.
29. Desperately wants to meet.
He was just like
Met.
losing his mind and like she was nice enough to move to walk over and take a picture with him.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Met, a stand-up lady, and there's all these articles online about how nice her butt is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's part of the costume too. I'm not objectifying a woman.
Who knows
There's
who's even in
there.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it is. That's what made it interesting to the internet, that it obviously wasn't the shape of an actual person. That's like, a costume team decided.
Yeah, like
Mrs.
we're gonna
Met
like Jessica Rabbit this lady.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not 100%, but I feel like we're going down that road. Yeah. Sooner or later, Mrs. Met's going to be just wearing a sequin dress with a low cut V-neck. Oh, boy, I gotta go take a cold shower. Tim, do you have any favorite mascots, sports mascots?
I'm partial to Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Yeah, right.
They got baseballs as heads.
Which is something because you're a Yankees fan.
I am. The Yankees, like, they at some point they had like a guy or something.
When?
Like I think Yankees mascot. Yeah, I don't know. He this is like in the 70s.
Oh,
Dandy.
Okay. Dandy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a
Yankee
big goofy
Doodle
guy.
Dandy. Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, it's a little too goofy, to be honest with you.
It's not like, nowadays the Yankees are like, no. We are deadly serious.
Yeah.
Yankees baseball isn't about having fun and playing a game.
Yeah, we're like the Secret Service, but a baseball team. I could never see them having any kind of mascot now. They're just not a fun team.
He looks like that actor from the 80s with that big red mustache. You know the guy? He was like a character actor.
Wilford Brimley?
He's kind of Brimley-esque, but
he's got like the same mustache as Brimley. Dandy.
And same saggy face.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you like Mr. and Mrs. Met, which you're not one of these Yankees fans that hates the Mets.
No, I like going to Mets games more than I like going to Yankees games.
Yeah, it's easier to get there, nicer stadium.
Yeah, family fun.
Yeah,
they got a Shake Shack.
Yeah, the Yankees stadium. If you smile, they're like, "Hey, cut it out! You're distracting the players."
Hey, Joe DiMaggio played here.
not here,
like across the street. Tom,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, are you going somewhere with this?
Oh, no, not really. I was just seeing if you like mascots.
I think the elephant in the room.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about Gritty, the Philadelphia Flyers mascot? That it's like a postmodern take on mascots, right?
A little bit, but I mean, I do think it's pretty cool that I feel like every single time. I mean, you were just talking about the Yankees having a mascot named Dandy in the 70s.
Right.
Every time a team's like, guess what, everyone? We have a new mascot or a new name or a new whatever, or dramatically new uniforms. The fans lose their minds and hate it.
Yeah.
But Gritty was the rare example of that not being the case.
It was 2018. I feel like the country was in a weird place.
Yeah.
Right? I think everybody was just like, well, fuck everything. Like, the world's ending soon, right? Like, we might as well have the mascots that are just like grotesque and
googly-eyed
and like nihilists in a way, right? like Gritty would be like, hey, I'm Gritty, like post on Instagram, like, we're all gonna die one day or something, and everybody's like, fuck yeah, Gritty, we love this.
Because that's the thing. A lot of times I read, reading about all these different mascots, there are so many mascots where they talk about like developing the personality of the mascot. It's like every mascot either doesn't have a personality or is obnoxious,
right?
And either in like a funny way or a not funny way, and that's about it.
Right.
Like there's no other, like they mess with the other team and they cheer on their own team. Like that's the extent of personality. So
right.
Have a character, have a mascot that's like kind of a nihilist. That's I don't know, that's something different. And I don't know, like, I think it's also the fact that it's the Philadelphia Flyers. It's a small NHL team.
What a small NHL team.
Well, I guess not small.
Go to Philadelphia and say that.
Yeah, I couldn't. They'd
they'd pummel you to death with batteries.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, Philly's not a huge city and hockey is not a huge sport in America. I'm just saying, like, demographically.
Sure. All right.
What I'm saying is I don't know how Philadelphia Flyers fans felt about Gritty. All I know is how, like, the internet felt about Gritty. So maybe
Gritty was made for the internet.
Yeah. So maybe a lot of Flyers fans didn't like it and thought it was stupid and hated it and still hate it, but
not my business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak for the people of Philadelphia.
Yeah. That's
for goddamn sure.
Not my, what is it? Not my circus, not my monkeys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, and I just got to give a big shout out to the San Diego chicken.
The San Diego chicken's a pretty good mascot, just because it's just like a big chicken wearing a baseball uniform.
Yeah. San Diego Padres. Or no, wait. Yeah. He was on the Baseball Bunch when we were kids. Remember that show? What?
It's not a person. You can say, this character. Do you even know it's a he? He doesn't even have they don't even have a
how do you know?
Name.
Tom,
it's just
how
the
do you
San
know?
Diego chicken. I don't know.
They were portrayed by a man.
Yes. I assume that's the case for most
Ted
sports
Giannoulis.
mascots. Okay.
I don't know if that's true, actually. Like, you go to Disney World, right?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse is usually, just because of the size, like a woman.
Yeah, but I think that this
is pure speculation.
It's 100% speculation. But I just think that, Disney, they have a lot of women in the costumes, because women, tend to be smaller than men on average. But is that a concern with the baseball mascot or any sport mascot, because they're like interacting with not just kids, like everyone. I would think if anything, maybe the bigger, I feel like a lot of sports like the Philly Fanatics, like big, like almost like a Big Bird-esque costume.
Right, but we're talking about the chicken.
Yeah, I know.
And the chicken was specifically played by this Ted Giannoulis.
Oh, okay. All right. Then the chicken's a guy.
We don't know that, but like...
That's what I was saying, that we don't know that. Anyway, Tim, you know about this mascot named Youppi?
Youppi?
Yeah.
No.
Tim, Youppi, very interesting mascot, because the first, and maybe the only, I'm not sure, but certainly the first North American mascot to ever change sports. He was the mascot for the Montreal Expos.
Okay.
And then became the mascot for the Montreal Canadiens.
Is that after they shut down the Montreal Expos?
Yes. And originally he was going to move with the team. Youppi's a man. Yeah. Youppi is like just kind of similar to Gritty. It's just like a dude with a red beard.
Okay, well, Gritty is not a man.
Yeah, Gritty's who knows what Gritty is.
Gritty's Gritty. Gritty's a meme.
Yeah.
Gritty is like, honestly, like Gritty has like settled into their place. But like the 2018 equivalent of like Epic Bacon, right?
Yeah.
Like where it feels
I don't know. Sometimes I'll see clips of Gritty and he looks pretty funny.
Yeah. Gritty seems cool.
Like you know what it is?
Gritty like gets political too.
Well,
yeah, Gritty's like an avowed like leftist.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that about Gritty. What I was just going to say is, regardless of all that, what I think is funny is that Gritty's eyes move and that he has dangly fur. Yeah. And I think that I'm being serious, that like when I've seen videos of Gritty at games, it's like, yeah, that's a very look like the whole thing's moving. Like it feels more alive than most mascots.
Yeah.
Which makes it,
but in an unsettling way.
Right. It makes it harder to feel okay with killing one.
How do you feel about Sweetums, the big hairy guy from the Muppets? Who walks around.
Like, yeah, I like Sweetums.
Yeah, isn't Gritty just kind of like Sweetums-esque? Yeah.
Well, I had sent you a quote before because I didn't realize, but it did make sense in retrospect that like Jim Henson had a big influence on sports mascots. Yeah. Which just makes sense because that was the first and only time I think puppets became like a huge part of American culture pretty quickly. And it just makes sense that people would then embrace like, oh, you can like use foam to make these things. They don't just have to be socks or marionettes or whatever. And he was obviously making puppets that were suits.
Yeah.
So
that incident, Marty Krofft.
Yes. But it wasn't that big of a jump for somebody to be like, hey, what if we had one of these guys at our games running around? That'd be fun, huh?
Did you watch this Jim Henson documentary on Disney Plus?
No, I don't have your Disney Plus password. I've told you that.
I mean, you do. It hasn't changed. Oh, it has changed. I'll send it to you. You have your own profile and everything.
You say it every week.
Okay. Well, I probably won't.
Well, just
I'll probably
read
forget.
it out.
Okay. You know what? I bundled some stuff together, and I transitioned my Hulu password to be my.
Okay.
So that's why it all changed. I had to get
account consolidation.
Yeah,
of course. Yes.
But there's this one part in the Jim Henson documentary. They're showing like in the 50s, he did like all these like local television commercials with the puppets. And it's like,
for coffee, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there was one that I'd never seen before that like, and they show a lot of them at the Museum of the Moving Image.
Yeah, because he was doing like local, so it was like all kinds of businesses.
Yeah, and there was one, it was like, it might have been like Hormel ham or something. And like, it was this one puppet goes up to this other puppet and goes like, how do you feel about Hormel ham? And like the other puppet goes like, I love it. And he goes, great. And he goes to another guy. And it's like, how do you feel about Hormel ham? And the guy goes, I'm a vegetarian. And then the first guy pulls out a gun and shoots him.
Hormel ham.
Yeah, it was like, wow. I would be like, if that was a commercial for a meat product right now, it's like murder a vegetarian, I'd be like, the society is
falling apart.
But like, I'm like, Jim Henson was a real swell guy, a real visionary.
Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of influence. Yuppie, I forget. Oh, so I was like kind of digging into Yuppie because I thought it was interesting that he was gonna go to DC with the Expos, who are now the Senators or Nationals.
Tom, you were you're really in touch.
They play against the Globetrotters,
Jesus
right?
Christ, Tom. You're naming teams from 1919. The Washington Senators.
Yeah, I saw them play against the Brooklyn Dodgers.
They play
recently.
at the Polo Grounds.
But yeah, so he was the first guy to cross over, change leagues. People love him. But this led me down an interesting rabbit hole because it said Yuppie, a creation of Acme Mascots, Inc., a division of Harrison Erickson Incorporated.
That's a company I'd like to work for.
Well, first off, Acme Mascots, Inc., that's a great name for a mascot company. And second off, Tim, this company's right down the road. They're in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
Should we go there?
They like got out of the mascot game, I think.
Oh.
But let me tell you about, because I was reading this. I was like, oh, Acme Mascots. I knew they were down the road. I did research about them. Do you remember? This is. I want to say
this is 40, the movie?
Yeah, this is 40.
I liked it.
Paul Rudd's in it?
Yeah. Man. Paul Rudd had no right to be sad.
We can't relitigate This is 40. Yeah, he was like running a pretty successful indie record label in like the mid-aughts. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Beautiful family, nice big house.
Big house.
We might have to downgrade our house a little bit because I lent my dad some money.
Yeah. I mean, he looked fucking, he's like, oh, and I guess I'm not getting older looking. Guess I still look great.
Yeah.
But boy, what a bummer.
Can I tell you something? I love that movie. I'll watch that movie 7 days a week.
Wow. It's too much.
Put a gun to my head. If you threaten to kill me, I'll watch it.
But anyways, do you remember like 6 years ago, 5 years ago maybe,
during the pandemic? No, pre-pandemic.
A big blow up about the Philly Fanatic, the design changing.
No, I do not recall.
Yeah. So this like led me down a rabbit hole. This shit's insane. Did you know? I don't know if this is currently the case. Actually, it might be, because it seems like now there's like one big company that makes a lot of these mascots, and they run the Mascot Hall of Fame and everything.
Gotta love that. Gotta love when consolidation and monopolistic things like suck all the fun out of everything.
I don't even know if it was necessarily that. I think it was just that like this other company kind of got out of the business, and this company was like, I guess we'll pick up the slack, and just
nobody else is making mascots.
Yeah, and just nobody ever competed with them. Somebody's listening to this and they're like, that company's the reason why I lost my whole life. They ruined my upstart mascot company. Adding us on the list after Acme mascots, Tim and Tom. No. So there was a problem. Okay, let me start from the very beginning.
Are you getting flustered because you have a view to your fiance watching Bridgerton in the next room?
No. She's watching Bridgerton, and there was some nudity, but that was during the break, so it was fine.
Okay. Just feel like maybe you're just like checking once in a while.
No, because this story's surprisingly complex.
Okay. Sorry.
So in the 70s, I believe it was the 70s, the Philly Fanatic, the Philadelphia Phillies decided we need a mascot. We need a new mascot. They came up with some ideas, and then they contracted this company. And these two guys, was it Harrison and Erickson?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to make a joke about them both having names that end in son.
Yeah. You mean Harry and Eric's boys?
Yeah. Harry, of course, Harry and Eric from Harry and Eric Incorporated. Their son started a new
Isn't
business.
Harry and Eric a thing?
Harry and Eric? You're thinking of Tim and Eric.
Oh, and Eric. There's Harry and something.
And the Hendersons.
Ah, yes.
So anyway,
Harry and David.
Oh,
so if it was Harrison and Davidson,
right?
I'd be like, that's the sons of Harry and David, the American premium food and gift company. You know that? It's like send them a Harry and David gift basket.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard this company, or maybe I haven't.
Tom, you'd like it.
Such a generic name, I'd never remember. Well, send me a gift basket and I'll see.
I will.
So the Phillies need a mascot. They go to this company. They've got some ideas already about what they want. They want like it to be green, and a few other elements.
Right.
These guys
dog gift baskets, Tom.
Oh, okay, nice.
Maybe I'll send one to Ginger.
Listen to this part, Tim.
Okay,
it's going to start getting interesting. So they go to these guys. These guys design the Philly Fanatic for them. Do you think you would assume the Philadelphia Phillies pay those men, thank you for your work, and then they get that? No, they have to license it from those guys.
That is smart.
It's smart for those guys. Wait till you hear how smart these guys are.
But you design, so that's intellectual property. You don't just give that, otherwise it's gotta be like a huge upfront cost, right?
Yeah, but I would still think that the Phillies would have, I don't know, not wanted to get into it. Like they don't have people design their uniforms and then they're like, all right, and we'll license this to you. You know? I mean, great for Harrison and Erickson to negotiated this to license the character. And actually, in all honesty, maybe smart for the Phillies because they didn't know if people would like this character.
Yeah, you might have to kill the Fanatic after 6 months because everybody's throwing batteries at them, and 4 interns have died.
Or maybe somebody does kill the Philly fanatic, and you're like, "Hey, we're not paying for the dead guy anymore." So a few years later, 1984, it becomes obvious the Philly fanatic's here to stay. Great. They go back to Harrison and Erickson, and they say, "You know what? This is all working out. We don't want to keep paying you a licensing fee. Name your price. We're going to buy the character from you outright." Great. They reach an arrangement, and they buy the character outright.
This was a very interesting story.
It's not done yet, Tim.
What?
35 years later, Harrison and Erickson come back and go, "Hey, give us our character back. It's ours." Because according to, hold on, I wrote it down even. Under federal
impressive.
Under federal copyright law, I had never heard this before. An artist has the right to renegotiate their rights to their creations after 35 years. So even in this case of buying the character out, they could still come back, and it seems like exactly 35 years later they were ready, and they were like, "Give us the character back." And, of course, the Phillies were like, "No, of course not. It is ours." Like, "Oh, well, then we have no other course of action but then to sue you."
Put a sniper on the...
So they
kill the fanatic.
So they sue to get the character back. And as we've established with Yuppie, they were like, "Yeah, we want the character back. We'll sell them to a different team." Like, this has happened before.
Oh, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah, if another baseball team, especially.
The Cincinnati Fanatic.
Yeah.
Phillies fans would, go to... maybe that's what that freaking guy running on the field is all about, trying to kill the Cincinnati Fanatic.
Maybe you had heard wrong. About this news story from 5 years ago. So, and Harrison and Erickson, they correctly estimate that, no, you're going to come back to the table, but they didn't. They went to court. So then the Phillies think, well, we're going to pull a smart one on you, fellas, because, we met with our lawyers and they told us, according to the law, even though we can, this
is all happening in the same city where Gritty is being introduced at the exact same time. This is the mascot news freaking center of the world.
Exactly. So they decide, the Phillies, they're like, "You know what? We don't care. We've got our, I guess not a poison pill, but we've
got the costume.
We've got a backup plan. If to basically call your bluff, we're not going to go to court. And you know what? You can win that. That's fine. Because our lawyers told us, according to U.S. copyright law, even though we may no longer own the copyright to that character, we can create a derivative work of that character under fair use." So they created a derivative Philly Fanatic with slight changes to it. Very slight. I had to look at a picture of the two of them side by side with a list of what the differences were. Because it's basically more blue fur around the eyes.
Right.
The tail's blue instead of blue and purple. The hands aren't furry anymore. It basically seemed like they also just kind of took an opportunity to be like, let's streamline the character a little bit.
You ever see a season 1 Muppet Show Miss Piggy versus season 5 Muppet Show Miss Piggy? And it's or you ever see the original Big Bird? It's
terrifying.
God. Yeah. And it's they're just doing that. They're just they're flattening them out a little bit.
The hands were no longer furry. The hands kind of had, the arms were kind of wings almost, and they went over the hands, but the hands were material gloves. probably made it. I'm sure that was like a frequent complaint from people in the costume. Like, it can't really hold things with these damn hands.
Right.
Philly fans lost their minds. They did not like derivative Philly fanatic. So they had to come back to the negotiating table, and an agreement, an out-of-court settlement was decided.
Wow.
So these guys walked away with more money after 35 years, which is incredible to come back and be like...
You know what? You create something that is that indelible.
Oh, absolutely.
That if you slightly change it, your fan base
that
fucking
proves
revolts.
The worth of
it's like, hey, you know what?
Yeah. Pay up. Yeah. But I thought that was, I mean, I agree. Like, it's great. But yeah, kind of crazy that I'm sure, I mean, this is also like a contract that was made in the 80s over intellectual property. A lot more people have gone to law school for intellectual property since. A lot more more importantly, more court cases have been decided. So I'm sure nowadays there would be an ironclad, like, no, actually, we're not buying that. We're buying like your company or something.
Right.
We're going to have you create a subsidiary that owns the character. Right. Then we'll, to make sure that doesn't happen. But still great that happened.
It just shows me that Harry and Eric
raised good boys.
Great parenting skills.
Yeah.
I look up to them as a father. I'd like my son to be as shrewd businessman.
Tim, I also forgot to mention that Youppi had another distinction. He was the first mascot to be thrown out of an MLB game.
Whoa! I like when people get angry at the mascots.
Tim,
like when people on the field get angry at the mascots.
Wait, I mean,
managers.
I
saw Tommy Lasorda lose it. In a video online the other day from 40 years ago.
Tim, who do you think was responsible for getting Youppi thrown out of the game during the 1989 Expo season?
Oh, this might be the clip I watched the other day.
On August 23rd.
It was an extra innings game?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched this clip.
I love that was before we decided to do mascots when you were watching this clip the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the tape of baseball bloopers.
Tommy Lasorda gets fucking pissed. You should see this clip, though.
I can't wait. On August 23rd, while atop the visitors' dugout in the 11th inning, Youppi took a running leap, landing hard and noisily on his roof, and then snuck into the front row seat. Los Angeles manager Tommy Lasorda complained to the umpires, and Youppi was ejected by Bob Davidson. I think he was allowed back in later in the game, but yeah, I mean, anytime somebody gets mad, it's a human being getting mad at a cartoon character.
I know, I love it.
It's why Who Framed Roger Rabbit is such a good movie. I mean, what's the best part of Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Just watching Bob Hoskins get so annoyed at Roger.
It's not even just that. That is the prime thing. But it's also like an older man who's not playing in the game, but is wearing the uniform.
Wearing the uniform, which is just as tight and not flattering to an older, non-athletic man.
Yeah. And like, it's just funny. He's like, we're trying to play a game over here.
Yeah, this guy's fucking around. I put on this tight outfit this morning expecting a serious game.
Youppi spelled Youppi.
With an exclamation point at the end.
Man, is that where Blippi got it? Blippi?
Maybe.
Do you know about Blippi, Tom? We had to ban Blippi from my house.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tommy Lasorda is getting pissed.
Oh, because the mascot put a nightcap on.
Yeah.
And pretended like he was going to sleep because it was an extra innings game, which is extra. I mean, no, he doesn't just have a nightcap. He has pajamas and a pillow.
A pillow with him, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tommy Lasorda, he should have lost his Weight Watchers campaign over this, or Slim Fast.
Yeah, Tom, that's the only thing you know about Tommy Lasorda. He's still like muttering about it in the dugout. It's great. But look at this. Tommy Lasorda has had enough with the Philly Fanatic.
Oh, no.
we're watching another video of him storming the field.
Yeah.
And I think he starts actually beating the shit out of him. Well, it seems like the Philly Fanatic had an effigy of Tommy Lasorda, which does seem a little he's throwing actual baseballs at him.
Yeah, he's driving an ATV around the field while he's throwing baseball. Hope that was in between innings.
Man, baseball used to be a lot more fun.
Well, and that's the thing.
When people could run out onto the...
You see a video of Tommy Lasorda throwing punches at the Philly Fanatic. There's no way that doesn't look like a pre-planned bit that's supposed to happen during the game, like a professional wrestling match or something. All right. If you like the show, check out more at tcgte.com. You can follow us on social media. You can find all the links there. You can follow me on social media at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim on Blue Sky.
On Blippy. On up.gov. And you can also check out patreon.com/complete guide for books to podcast. Well, not this week. Tim, what have we got this week?
Tom, we have the return of Who Wants to Be a Booksman-aire?
Which I guess is a Books to Podcast production.
Yeah, it's all about the books that we read.
It's kind of like a spin-off, but yeah.
Yeah. Tim, I would say it's a brand extension.
Tim, you showed me some of your preparation documents. You put more work and thought into this than most things I've ever seen you do.
Tom, people are paying for this.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to start reading the book, and it wasn't available at the library yet. So instead, I just did hours of prep work for this.
If you'd like to hear the summation of all that work, patreon.com/complete guide. Where you can find that. You can also find tiers for early and ad-free episodes. Tim, any parting thoughts about sports mascots? Who do you think is the most? Is the Philly Fanatic like the most well-known sports mascot? Do you think? Just because it's so weird.
I think so. I think Gritty might have overtaken that. But I'm trying to think, maybe the little Notre Dame guy.
Yeah. Does he have a name, or he's just the fighting Irish guy?
It's probably like O'Malley or something. Yeah. I don't.
I mean, Mr. Met's pretty famous.
Mr. Met's not that famous. He came to my office one time.
All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.